What you're about to see is going to be very hard to forget. In fact, mainstream media will not show you any of the content I'm about to show you because they have sold out to the globalist Democratic Socialist arm. In today's report, I'm going to show you 4 Congress members that completely hate America and, in my opinion, are out to destroy it. President Trump likes to call them the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse. Let's start first with Ilhan Omar. In the clip that you're about to see, she goes on record basically making fun of Americans for being afraid of Al-Qaeda. Here she is talking about her professor at her old college. Take a listen.
When I was in college, I took a terrorism class, and
is that a such thing?
Yeah, there was.
So you go there is a lab for that?
There was a class that you.
Do you go to a lab?
No,
go out a field trip.
We learned the ideology of.
I'm glad you do that.
And so it was the thing that was interesting in the class was every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up, and
he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah.
He's an expert.
And it was,
what's his name? What to put his name on the air? Where does he live?
Saying his name.
I'm not quite sure why she thinks that's funny, but nonetheless, here she is making fun of Americans for being afraid of Al-Qaeda. But that's not all. How about a letter that she addressed to a judge asking the judge to go easy on ISIS members? Now, here's the actual letter. You can read it in its entirety on the screen, but I'm just going to read a section that states, incarcerating 20-year-old men for 30 to 40 years is essentially a life sentence. Society will have no expectations to the would-be 50, 60-year-olds released prisoners. It will view them with distrust and revulsion. Such punitive measures not only lack efficiency, they inevitably create an environment in which extremism can flourish, aligning with the preposition of terrorist recruitment. Of those 20-year-old men being incarcerated, some of them were ISIS members. This is straight up a plea from a Congress member to a judge asking for leniency on ISIS. The terrorist organization that harms not only people here in America, but countries abroad. The terrorist organization that believes in killing anyone who doesn't adhere to their faith. Yes, those ISIS members. But that's not all. She also went on record with a few anti-Semitic tweets. Let me throw up just a few of those. One of them here says Israel has hypnotized the world, basically stating that she's anti-Israel, anti-Jewish. And another there, she says, it's all about the Benjamins, referencing a quote. And in this one, she's basically saying that members of Congress are funded by Israel money. These, in a nutshell, are very anti-Semitic comments. Not only that, but she said AIPAC, AIPAC, was paying members of Congress in order to be pro-Israel. At the very core of everything that Ilhan Omar stands for is anti-Semitic comments. But you know what? That's not all. She also took it one step further and downplayed the events of September 11th at a CARE event. Here's that clip.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
No, Ilhan Omar, it was not some people who did something. It was radical Islamic extremism who killed thousands of American citizens. So much anti-American and anti-Semitic and socialist mentality coming out of Ilhan Omar. But you know what? If you disagree with her, it's not because of her actual policies, she says. It's because of who she is. Take a listen.
The thing that upsets the occupant of the White House, his goons in the Republican Party, many of our colleagues in the Democratic Party, is that they can't stand, they cannot stand that a refugee, a black woman, an immigrant, a Muslim shows up in Congress thinking she's equal to them.
In other words, if you disagree with her, then you hate Muslim, blacks, and immigrants. That's called race baiting and identity politics. No, Ilhan Omar, we don't agree with you politically, not because of the color of your skin or because of the fact that you're a Muslim or an immigrant. We don't agree with you because you're an anti-American, anti-Semitic, socialist, race-baiting politician. I don't want your socialist principles pushed into a country that is all about freedom. That is what I don't like. But you know what? Ilhan Omar isn't the only one. Let's go into Rasheed Talib. Let's start first with the fact that she is very anti-American and very anti-Semitic. In fact, when she was elected into office, she promoted Palestine over America. Take a look at this article on CNN.com. Rasheed Talib will wear a Palestine gown when she's sworn into Congress. Here's the thing. If you're being sworn into Congress, then you need to promote America, not Palestine, not Israel, not Italy, not France, not Mexico, not any country other than America. This, at the very core, breeds hatred for our country. But you know what? It didn't stop there. She also called the president a mother effer. Take a look at this article on Vox.com. New Congress member creates stir by saying of Trump, "We're going to impeach this mother effer." That's some pretty harsh words coming from someone who, quote unquote, is supposed to respect the presidential office. But wait, there's more. Would you also know that she wrote a paper for Louis Farrakhan? You know, anti-Semitic Louis Farrakhan. Take a look at this article, the WashingtonTimes.com. Democratic Representative Rasheed Talib wrote an op-ed for Louis Farrakhan's The Final Call. It doesn't stop there. She also called for colleges to boycott programs to Israel. Take a look. Breitbart.com. Rasheed Talib joins boycott of school in Israel with high Arab student population. 100%fedup.com. Representative Rasheed Talib joins leftist California professors' effort to suspend college travel abroad programs to Israel. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what country it is, if it's Israel or France or Italy or Mexico, why is she attacking one country over another? It's not about Israel. The point here is, why did she pick Israel over every other country in the world? Good question. Because she doesn't stand for boycotting other countries, just Israel. Something is wrong here. But you know what? She's not the only one. Let's take a third one here. How about Anaya Presley? She is another one pushing extreme radical views. In fact, she recently went on record saying, basically, if you're Muslim, black, and gay, you can't be on the Republican ticket. Take a listen.
Voice don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
In other words, if you're a Muslim, gay, or black, and you're not with them and their squad and the Democrat, and you're not pushing identity politics or race baiting, then you're not standing up for your color or religion or gender? I mean, really? We have plenty of Muslims and blacks and gays on the Republican side. But because they don't stand with your identity, race-baiting politics, that they're somehow against their own people? This is rhetoric that we should never hear in Congress. And again, may I even dare to say, very anti-American. But guess what? We also have people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Oh, she's got so much stuff. And I don't think that she's so much anti-American as converting American into extreme socialist and communism, which by definition would literally destroy America to its core. Let's start first with the fact that she compared immigration centers to concentration camps. Take a listen.
The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border. Never again means something.
Did you know that a lot of people that come in at the border actually turn themselves in to Border Patrol? That wasn't happening under Nazi Germany time. But yet this is exactly what she's called it and compared it to. But that's not all. She even attempted to push the new Green Deal on America. And that would basically stop planes from flying, stop cow farts, I mean, things that are impossible, not to mention cost each and every single one of us our entire paycheck plus more. Take a look at these articles. Nationalinternet.org. AOC's Green New Deal would cost $600,000 per U.S. household. FoxNews.com. Green New Deal, OcasioCortez to make air travel obsolete and aid those unwilling to work. That would literally destroy our country. We would be destroyed. But don't worry, she says, we're going to save the planet because we only have 12 years to live if we don't start handling, I don't know, climate change and global warming and initiate her new Green Deal. Take a listen.
Millennials and people and, Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II.
Not my words. Those are the words of people who are now making critical decisions in this country. In fact, 3 of them, Omar, AOC, and Presley, are refusing to basically condemn the latest attacks by an Antifa member. The guy that went to the ICE facility and firebombed it, they refuse to condemn him. Take a listen.
Will you condemn Antifa for attacking an ICE facility? Will you condemn the Antifa attack in Washington over the weekend? Will you condemn Antifa for the attack in Washington?
Why are they not condemning violent acts against ICE members? It doesn't matter what side of the fence or what color you are, it needs to be condemned. It's an act of violence. I condemn all acts of violence, especially against our police officers, our ICE members, and congressmen and women. All of it, I condemn it. But none of those women condemned it. This is why I agree with President Trump, who tweeted this, and I quote, "In America, if you hate our country, you are free to leave. The simple fact of the matter is the 4 congresswomen think that America is wicked in its origins. They think that America is even more wicked now and that we are all racist and evil. They're entitled to their opinion. They're Americans. Now I'm entitled to my opinion. And I just think they are left-wing cranks. They're the reason there are directions on shampoo bottles, and we should ignore them. The squad has moved the Democratic Party substantially left, and they are destroying the Democratic Party. I'm appalled that so many of our presidential candidates are falling all over themselves to try to agree with the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse, and I'm entitled to say that they're whack jobs." That's a quote by the Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Amen. It's not about who those 4 women are, because look, let me be honest. There's blacks and Hispanics and all kinds of races, color, creeds, and religions on both Democrat and Republican side. You don't hear him calling out, some of the other colors of skin in Democratic Party. And then the Democratic Party takes this quote and tries to say the president is racist against women of color. No. He's calling out the politics of these women. Anyhow, please don't forget to check out my partner at preparewithlisa.com. Right now, they have amazing specials of up to 45% off. And now is the time to truly get prepared with food storage, especially considering some of the devastations that we have right now, like the massive earthquakes that we're experiencing and all the flooding. This could affect the prices at the grocery store. So make sure you have food storage. And again, check it out at preparewithlisa.com. Anyhow, thanks again for for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.